Hi guys, welcome to the video for the full moon in Aries, and it's going to be late on the 19th into the 20th, very early morning on the 20th of October 2021. And so we have the moon, which is the emotional, receptive, mothering, nurturing, sensitive, intuitive side of the self in the first house. Fiery energy ruled by Mars, energy of Aries, which is personal power and being assertive, being ambitious, going after, being a go-getter, going after what you want, and your emotions are behind it, driving you forward. So the moon in Aries can be very emotional. It can be hostile, but it can be very energized. The moon usually rules over the fourth house, which is Cancer. It has to do with safety and security, feeling safe at home. Cancer is the house of home and roots and where you come from, which can be simply the home where you live. The moon is your intuition, the mystery behind what is not seen, anything that's very mysterious. It's the unseen, the unknown, so because you don't know, you follow your intuition. So that's where the moon normally rules over. With the moon ruling over the very first house of the zodiac, this can be very fiery emotions. It can be very passionate emotions. It has to do with personal power and, going after what you want. This energy with a full moon, because all full moons are in opposition to the sun, and the sun is the masculine. The sun in astrology has to do with the identity, who you are, the self, and it rules over Leo. So the fifth house energies are about family, being brave, courageous, creative, very independent energy, but also very creative and caring for friends and family. Leo is the courageous lion, and it's ruled by the sun. So it has to do with your nature, your personality, in opposition to this moon in Aries. So we have the masculine fire in the air sign of Libra, which is about balance, a balanced perspective. What is balanced? It's ruled by Venus. What is balanced, pleasurable, kind, good-natured? What is in the best interests of everyone in society? So we have Mars in Libra. Mars in Libra is frustrated, but it's also very ambitious for equality. So things to be fair, just, balanced, people obsessed with legal matters or court documents, anything that has to do with the legal system. There could be an obsession with that. Now we have Mercury here. It will be in direct, so this is really good because Mercury going direct in Libra is better than Mercury retrograde, because people clearly understand where they're coming from. They want partnerships, anything that has to do with you and another person where there's reciprocity. It's not a one-sided relationship. The masculine fire is what you're going to be feeling as, it's like a personality trait of being a go-getter. So it's the assertive side of your personality. So it's the yang, it's the fire. Now, to have the balance, the opposition of the moon and the fire, I feel like it could be a very good balance. However, it depends, because if you're very aggressively wanting something to be fair, equal, balanced, shared, reciprocity in a relationship, that is in opposition to nurturing yourself or following your own path. So you need to find a balance through, I believe, Venus ruling over Libra in the fire sign of Sagittarius is education, philosophy, belief systems, having an open mind, learning things. And it's also what did you learn growing up about love or prosperity? Because Venus rules over Taurus and Libra, and Taurus energy has to do with money and finance. So having an open mind, learning something new, being open to new ideas, new belief systems, philosophies, in order to cooperate. So Mercury will be sextiled to Venus. I know it says the 19th, but as it moves into the 20th in the middle of the day, or at this time, which would be 6:30 p.m. on the 20th, the moon is on the cusp and moving into 2 degrees of Taurus. So I'm just looking at the moon in Aries here in opposition to the sun. So Taurus moon on the 20th will be very good, because you'll feel maybe on the 19th very, very emotional. Something could mean a lot to you. And then you'll feel a shift, because Taurus, ruled by Venus, is pleasure and stability and being grounded and thoughtful, very practical, stable energy. However, so the way to get through this, if you feel highly emotional, because there is a double T square going on here, so there's a tension. The squares are the red lines, which are squared off energy of Pluto and Capricorn. So that's a change in reputation or a change in a structure of society from one type of society to another. So the Pluto energy is change. It's change and transformation. It usually has to do with a complete change of a person's reputation. And this is connected at a tension to the moon and the sun. So the change is asking you to be flexible and to cooperate, and that is resistant to the energies of Libra and Aries, which are polar opposites. It's like Aries gets things done, is an entrepreneur, starts things on their own. Libra would start things with a partner and get a business going with a partner. They could be very independent, I'm sure, but they would probably feel more comfortable if there was another person with them to back them up. Aries could be the one who's like the lone wolf doing things by themselves. And it's asking you, this energy is to change. There's some kind of societal change, or a change in reputation, a transformation. Pluto is the judgment card. So it's a spiritual transformation in maybe a belief system, change, being or learning to cooperate could help you get through this energy. So for Aries people, Chiron is in Aries, aligned with the moon. So it could be something from your past, like a wound from the past that comes back up again, and you feel very sensitive to this. You feel very emotional or hurt by, it could be feeling left out of a group, because that would be Libra, feeling left out of a partnership, not being included in something, and feeling maybe a rejection. So there's a need to heal the self. Focus on healing the wounds of the past, and also being independent, sovereign, not looking for the approval of somebody else, So what Venus is doing, which is the planet of love and pleasure and things that bring you joy and happiness in your life, tangible pleasure, Taurus, Libra, the people in your lives and the stuff that you like having, like money and food and all of that. Venus in Sagittarius wants you to be open to cooperate as far as a big vision. Sagittarius is like a global visionary. It's, an expansion of a belief system. Sagittarius energy is long distance travel, like global travel. So it could be, incorporating other ideas, being open, having an open mind, maybe seeing something from someone else's point of view. Like if they grew up in a different country, you sort of see it from their point of view. And this is coming up to an apex point. So people are speaking about equality. It goes over to Venus, which is tangible, pleasurable things in the house of visions and dreams and philosophy, belief system. It's basically like, what is your idea of a good relationship or a pleasurable relationship? And then it goes straight up to Uranus and Taurus, which is the rebellion, saying, I don't care, I'm going to break the mold, I'm going to do something differently, my own way. So there's something very rebellious about this. It's like some people could start dating people from different cultures or different religions. And their family might be not so open to that, and that would be the Pluto in Capricorn. It would be a change in the system in some way that would cause that sort of tension of the T-square. It's like, oh, well, I wasn't raised like that, but you're open to this. And even some people could be rebelling and saying, no, I want this in my life. I want something different. Because it's sextiled. Mercury is sextiled to Venus, which is harmony. This is very pleasurable. It's like, I really enjoy going out and eating foods that are a different culture because I learn about a different culture. Taurus energy with Uranus is innovation. How can you use this information to be an innovator? But it's asking you to sort of sacrifice a little bit of the self. So the moon is the pleasure center. The moon is receptive. It's, quiet and listening, and Aries, it's in opposition to Mars and the Sun in Libra. This is like forced. It's almost like somebody forcing you to be in a situation to learn about a new culture, even if you don't really want to. Like you would rather go do something on your own or something. What it's asking for is cooperation. It's asking to be open-minded and it's not political at all. If anybody is thinking, oh, this is political. No, this has to do with the person, the self. Now, I don't know how that would play out. Like if you didn't want to go to a certain restaurant, you wanted to go eat at a certain restaurant, and you were with a partner, which would be Libra, and they want to go somewhere else, you may feel intense feelings about that. Like they say, oh, well, you picked last time what restaurant we went to. You may feel like, well, it's my birthday, so why can't we go? Because it would be something personal to you. Or you could say, something that you have a strong sense of intuition. Or you could just say, I really feel strongly that my emotions are feeling strong that I don't want to go there. And the other person is really pushing, like, to partner in a situation that is Venus in Sagittarius. Somebody really wants you to experience something new, and there's a resistance because of the T-square. So you're saying, I really don't want to, this is what I want to do. And like I said, it could make you start to feel like you're left out. Like, why is my side never considered? But when the moon moves into Taurus on the 20th, people are going to feel more either stubborn or grounded. They're going to feel like, okay, it's fine. Uranus in Taurus, though, is rebellious. It's saying, I'm going to do whatever I want to do and forget you. So it could be interesting. It depends on the person. 20 degrees of the moon in Aries connected to 20 degrees of Neptune in Pisces retrograde. There could be some fantasy as well, like something here that is not quite real. There's something that is like an illusion, where you could even think that other people, Neptune is connected to Pluto. Like you could have this feeling of people don't care or something like that. You could feel like you're rejected. but it's based on an illusion. It isn't real. Anything that is not real, is in the mind, fantasy, is Neptune. And it could be connected to conditioning of the past because it's Neptune retrograde in Pisces. Your mind has been conditioned based on past or illusions that are based on the past. So it's like nobody likes me, or some kind of projection that then plays out in this feeling of like you're a victim, like you feel victimized. Now, it could be feeling like you're bullied or victimized, but that's why I was saying that even though the moon is squared to Pluto, which is the change and the destruction, the moon is in opposition to Mars. It's like the moon is, you want to follow your intuition, you have very strong emotions about something, but this is almost like, well, your partnership matters more, the sun with Mars and Mercury direct. It's like it matters more to have a strong partnership. So you have to somehow find a balance. And my thought was, be open, have an open mind, be flexible, be willing to see the other person's point of view, even if you have to educate yourself, if you have to do something to learn, seek to understand the other person's side, see where they're coming from. Because with the moon in Aries, people can be really upset, like very, very upset, if things are not going their way personally. And, you know, Uranus and Taurus can just be like throwing caution to the wind and saying, well, I'm going to do it my way no matter what. But it could develop into innovative change with the Yod, with Uranus and Taurus. This is destiny or fate that comes about as a result of harmony between the houses of Sagittarius over to Libra. So it's like if you're open, you have an open mind to other cultures, other belief systems or philosophies, you could come up with some very new and innovative way of making money because it's in the house of Taurus. You could find some really interesting way or innovative way of making money, or of traveling, or Sagittarius is education, but it's also long distance and global. So it could be, you could come up with a new innovative way to teach online or something like that. It's connected to Mercury, so it has to do with speaking or written, spoken communication. It has to do with talking to people. So there could be a lot of innovative energy coming out of the tension between the moon in Aries, basically personal power. So I'm trying to say two things. You could feel very, very inspired, have a lot of personal power, start some projects, make some changes, but at the same time, there's a need to cooperate. Libra is about cooperation or fairness and equality for the good of society. And then it's also justice. What is fair and just and balanced in the world? And then a need to see someone else's point of view and see where they're coming from, and possibly come up with a way with Uranus and Taurus of doing or making something very innovative and new in a way to make money. So it's kind of like different companies have come up with new and innovative ways to deliver food, which to me is like Venus in the Sagittarius. It's a pleasure as far as global long distance philosophy, culture. This led to different ways of delivering, which would be Mercury and Libra, getting you the product. And, you know, so pay attention to your intuition. You don't necessarily need to fly off the handle if something doesn't go your way. And really embrace. So you can embrace the energy, and not just get triggered. Because you could get triggered if somebody is making you compromise, like you feel forced to compromise your independence. Instead of doing that, I would seek first to understand, gather information, research. Sagittarius energy is about global multicultural research. Go online, learn, read articles, read publications, before you take that innovative leap of Uranus and Taurus. Say if you're going to quit your job, I would say do lots of research, find another job first. That would be, you need money. Venus rules over Taurus. In order to have food and pleasurable things, you have to have some kind of, income coming in. Now, the Sun in Libra, Mars and Mercury in Libra is all lined up here, opposing the self. It's like somebody forcing you into a collaboration or forcing you to compromise for the good of society. Libra is, how are we seen? Do we appear to be a cooperative couple, or do we appear to be like, is there a fight? Mars in Libra is very ambitious, but it's at a detriment. Mars wants to rule over the self so that you can get up in the morning and go run or go start a new entrepreneur, project or something. Mars wants you to take action. It's masculine. It doesn't work well in the feminine energy of Libra, which is a little bit like codependency. It's like, well, you can't do it without me. And Aries would say, yes, I can do anything. So once again, that's what I'm saying. It's about cooperation, education, learning and accepting another person's point of view or their culture before taking that leap of faith, or before doing something that you could regret. Because a yod, which is what's happening here on this full moon in Aries, is a hand of fate or destiny that if you quit your job, it's like you can't go back, really. So be cautious, seek first to understand and to learn before you go and do that thing that would change your destiny. Yod is a change of destiny. Now, Venus in Sagittarius is also faith. It's what you learned. If you grew up in a certain household or culture, it's conditioning. It is squared to Neptune and Pisces, though. So it's more outward. It's more like you're looking at the world and seeing what are other people doing, and you're learning from other cultures in order to break your own illusion of what you think is the right thing. So it's being open to change. There definitely is like this double T-square, which is a tension, a restriction. It makes you feel frustrated. It can make you feel angry because you're saying, I don't want a partner, I want to do things on my own. Or it could be vice versa. Why won't you partner with me? Why won't you include me? And that could be a make or break. Like if somebody's not including you in something, you could feel rejection. So that's why I was saying, seek first to understand, gather information, be open, have an open mind, which is all Sagittarius, which is the harmony aspect, sextiled to Mercury and going through the sun here. The sun is squared to Pluto. The sun in Libra wants to form a partnership. It is squared and resistant to a change of someone's reputation. Like I said in another video, it could be like if one partner makes more money than the other, there could be a resistance to the perceived reputation of the couple if one person makes more money than the other. Because it has to do with what did you work towards. If one person has a PhD, the other person has a BA, and the one makes PhD makes more money, how does that influence the perception of the relationship or the reputation? And that is resistant. So there's a resistance to change, which is also interesting. Pluto squared to the moon in Aries. It's resistant to this personal power. It's almost like, let's just stay in the old tradition. Let's just stay the way things were and not change. There's a resistance to change, but at the same time, there's a definite force here with the Sun, Mars, and Mercury to have cooperation. So I'm going to leave this here for you guys. I really appreciate you all very much. I hope you enjoy my interpretation on the full moon in Aries on the late 19th into the early morning 20th. Thank you so very much and take care.